So this video would be about how to connect every webinar to Zap. So it's not actually connecting every webinar to Zap. So it's this Zap. What it does is it connects two applications basically. So usually we connect every webinar to sendlane. So that can be done by Zapier. So that was Zapier does. Connect every webinar to sendlane, or connect GoToWebinar with sendlane, or connect our user proof with something else. So Zapier is it's basically a third party application which provides a connection between two applications which you usually cannot within the same application. So if there's no way inside Webinarjam or webinar to link your webinar with the send list, so you have to use Zapier in that case. So same goes with that when we connect GoToWebinar with sendlane list. So it's pretty simple, pretty easy. Let me just tell you how to do it. So suppose Amanda comes to you, or someone comes to you, and they'll say, we want this webinar, Learn Airbnb Facebook one, to be connected with some sendlane list. And they'll most of the time they'll tell you like sendlane list name. But in that case, as soon they tell you like this is the sendlane name list, ask them about the ID, list ID, because I'll tell you why. So always, as soon you see a card where they ask you to connect any webinar to sendlane list, ask for the sendlane list ID right away. So why? Let me just tell you. So how to connect that? So this is Learn Airbnb Facebook. Let's create a fake Zap. So you'll click on Make a Zap, like on that orange button, of course. Then you have to see what you're gonna connect. So we're gonna connect Webinarjam to sendlane list. So we'll pick Webinarjam first. Okay. So you'll pick, and what we'll do is we want to trigger the new registration. So let me just name it first. Test Webinarjam with sendlane. Okay, just in case. So always it should be always new registrations, because that's what we want to trigger. Like new registration should be going into the sendlane. So the new registration, click save and continue. Second step, always the Webinarjam 2, because this one isn't working anymore, the top one. So you can click on test, in case the password been changed, but 99% it will work, because we don't change up the password for Webinarjam as usual. Okay, you'll click save and continue. So webinar 2, you'll select. There you'll get the list of the webinars. So all the list, all the list we have here, you'll get it here. So what you'll do is, maybe you can check Webinarjam and reload to bring new choices. You'll do that, and you'll see Learn Airbnb Facebook. You'll get it right here. Okay. So you have to like refresh it, because at times what they do is, you'll see it here, but they'll rename it in the back end, like rename it here. So you have to like, always, I would say click check webinar and reload, bring new choices. So it'll list you down the updated one. So we'll select this one. We'll click continue. Now this is the first step which has happened. Like, now it's asking, do second step. What do you want to connect with Webinarjam? You'll click on your Zap currently lacks an action step. You'll add an action. Action would be to connect that Webinarjam to a sendlane list. So you'll do that. Create a subscriber. Of course, we want to create a subscriber. Then they'll most of the time they'll tell you which sendlane account, and it would be like most of the time it would be Learn Nation 2. Like maybe this one or this one. They all the same, like the third last and second last. So what you can do is you can select and click test, just to test it, like it's working, it's successful. Learn Nation account, Anik Plus Learn Nation, or you can either pick this one. I would say Anik Plus Learn Nation. I would say pick one. This one, the third last, Anik Plus Learn Nation. So they'll tell you like which Learn Nation account. So you'll select this one. Most of our account are listed in there. So now this is the part where you want to see the list name. Like if they have just provided the list name, you'll click on this. They'll bring up the new choices. It wouldn't display all the names, because it has a limit to show only the 100 top lists, and we are way exceeding 100 list inside that sendlane list, a Learn Nation account one. So what we'll do is, the best way is always to use a custom value advanced. Always use a custom value advanced. You'll click on it. The custom value is the list ID. So you'll select the list ID and you'll just pick it here. You'll just put it here. So use a custom value, because if you're using the Anik Learn Nation account, we have like 200 plus lists inside it, and this Zapier only shows 100 list if you just scroll down. So you have to select, like, choose a custom value advanced. You'll put your list ID. Always make sure this is the correct list ID. You can get it from them, and then if you click on it, you'll get an example email, and the first name will go first name, last name will go last name, and that's it. You don't have to like add anything to these ones. Then you'll click on continue, and you want to test it, like create sendlane to test. And if it gives you this message, you're done, and you'll click on finish. Your Zap is done, but make sure you always turn it on, because it doesn't turn on automatically. And even if you make any edit to it, it will turn off, because you have make an edit. Then you have to go and turn it on. Then your Zap is done. You can go to your, of course, name your Zap. You'll click on my Zap. You'll see your Zap here, what we have done. Test one, test Webinarjam with sendlane. This is one. This is on. This is working. So this would be mostly like working 99%, but just because I have the sendlane list, sendlane, user ID password, so it's always easier for me, to log in and make that triple check. But yeah, you don't have to do that. You can ask the assignee or the person, like, I'm done with that. I've created Zap between every webinar and sendlane. So please go and test it out. If it's if the leads are storing inside the sendlane. So how we can test it? Let's just keep the sendlane open. What we can do is we'll just run this one. You can run this one on a test purpose, like this. Just open this link to registration, just to test like if it's working or not. So it shows you this one. I don't know if it's the correct one, so don't do that. Actually, direct, go to direct. Okay, embed the registration on your website. Okay, I don't know if it's going to the current page, but yeah, we can just test it out. Direct live room. What's the code is 2002. I'm not sure if it has the correct one. It doesn't have the correct one. Why it's showing that page if you're going to this one? Because somewhere inside the settings, people have put the hard code link. I can tell you where it is. Your own design, and it must be somewhere here. There's a place, I'm pretty sure, where you can add your. You shouldn't be doing that, like while creating this new one. You shouldn't be doing that, because this is not the good way to your own design, customize, maybe. Yeah. So you shouldn't be doing that. I'll just go and remove that, because okay, it's asking for the URL. Okay, I'll just keep it for now. But yeah, you can ask the person who has assigned you the task to test it out, because most of the time what we do is we put that webinar code onto a page button. So I'm not sure if you can test it from here. I saw a way, I know a way where you can test it like from here only, just like lead pages, but I don't know if it's not allowing you now to do that. Like you can directly check it out, or I don't know. Yep. Okay, don't bother about it. So this is how you can connect. You'll create a Zap. I'll just go ahead and delete the Zap. I'll trash it. Okay, you must need to turn it off before you need, you Zap it. So you find your Zap again, because there are like tons of Zap. So you'll find your test one. Let me just do that again. Test Webinarjam with sendlane. I'll go and I'll delete this. Really moved. So this is how you have to like, and I would only suggest you to do that when it's like really needed, when I'm not available, or it's like they are pushing you to do that, because it's very 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 important place, Zapier. You don't want to delete, you don't want to edit anything else, and you don't want to mess up anything else. This is why the password, login ID password, is just between me and Andrew E and like Jeremy Bilotti. So I've just made this video to make you understand how this works, how to connect any webinar inside Webinarjam to a sendlane list. So let me know if you have any questions, and if needed, let me know. I'll send out the passwords, user ID password to you guys separately, not on our group chat. Okay, thank you.